Hello my Scorpio friends, I'm Elizabeth Ashley, the Secret Healer. Welcome to my channel, list of essential oils and their uses. And today I'm going to do a reading for July 2020 for Scorpio using the Tongue of the Trees essential oils oracle cards. These are some cards that I co-created with Hungarian aromatherapist Gergely Halodi. And originally we created them to be able to do emotional healing for people who were in physical pain, emotional pain, and start to understand what was going on in the emotional body. And I am a professional pain practitioner. I teach aromatherapists how to deal with pain, and quite often we'll see that emotional disturbance can really underlie physical pain. Strange, and also cognition, the way that people think about their situation, their pain, all has a bearing on how much pain they have. So getting to the root of it can be difficult, and so these were created to be able to say, right, okay, let's stop talking to this and let's talk to the emotions. But to do that, I created a special spread called the Ring of the Trees. Spread's 13 cards. I found that not only can I read backwards into the root of the pain and the physical disturbance, but I can read forwards to be able to match to what's happening with these planetary transits over the next month. And so we have got some big things going on in July. Saturn's going to retrograde into Capricorn. That's hard work for anybody. How do we look at that? There's obviously a full moon in Capricorn on the 5th. That's the end of the Capricorn Cancer eclipse series for a Cancerian like me. We're thanking that we've come to the end of those. We have on the 11th, Chiron turns retrograde into Aries, and Chiron's the wounded healer. So there's a lot of psychological stuff that goes on there. What's that going to mean to you? And then, of course, Mercury has been direct since June 18th, 13th, 18th. And on the 12th of July, it will go forward. And we'll all have a little bit of respite from that. We have a new moon in Cancer. And obviously, the sun is entering Leo. So these transits are going to trigger us all differently. You know, we've all got history that works differently. And our emotional makeup is diverse. So these are some essential oils that will help us. So for Scorpio, where shall I stop cards? Been shuffling for a long time, so. Oh, coriander, receptiveness. We'll show you the 13 cards, tell you a little bit more about the layout, and then I will turn the camera around to do the reading for you. So number 2, Hyssop. You've got completely different cards to anybody else. Vetiver. Beautiful, grounding, masculine energy. Gorgeous. Cypress. Transition. It's like the end of the old world, the beginning of the new. Authenticity. This is interesting because eucalyptus, I'm sure everybody knows, is respiratory medicine. We use it for coughs, colds, infection control, catarrh, that kind of stuff. So incredibly useful for the whole world right now as we have COVID. But that's physical stuff. But the question is, when we inhale or we work with the other dimensions of eucalyptus, what does that work out at? Because essential oils don't have side effects. They have many main effects. They don't only work on the physical body. They affect change through the emotional, the mental and the spiritual body, and bring about energetic shifts that then bring about healing. So whilst you all recognise how important that is from a respiratory point of view, what's the psychological medicine behind eucalyptus? Well, we can see authenticity. What's that going to mean within your reading? That's interesting to see. Nutmeg, reignition. I like nutmeg a lot. So German chamomile. German chamomile has come out in every single reading that I have done this week. And I've done quite a few. And the chamomiles always sing to me. I can hear the essential oils talking all of the time, and I hear them as musical notes as well. But she's kind of like Doris Day. She goes, "Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be." If we're hanging on too tight, she's very, very useful. Rosemary, arch enemy. It's my nemesis. Again, fantastic respiratory medicine, but we'll talk more about her because she's a very interesting lady. Bergamot. That's your first citrus. The citrus are the uplifting ones. You've got a good spread of everything actually together. Very nice, but looking forward to the future. Consciousness, pentagram. This is an interesting card. Again, it's come up in lots of different readings. There are in the card pack 56, so 1 in 4 chance of it coming out. But remember that I said these are designed to talk to our unconscious minds and override our conscious thought processes. But pentagram goes, I have stuff to teach them there too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is yarrow. We'll talk more about yarrow in a minute. 12, contentment. She says, look how far you've come. Sit and enjoy it. This is where we're at now. This is your moment here. What's burgeoning in the future is the sacredness of Galbanum. Very, very interesting. So as I say, we've laid out the 13 cards for you now. And we'll look in a moment at the different transits that are going to happen through the month and see what we can find about how the essential oils feel that they can help you. The plants are such amazing teachers. And of course, it's Mother Earth in alignment with the heavens. So when they're used really, really well, and there is such a trend at the moment for going only for the physical medicine of an essential oil, and it's wasteful. It's wasteful because these are so useful for helping us to understand the archetypes. So for example, Vetiver was your card number 3. He's ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation. So we'll look at what that means, how that archetype plays out over a big thread to be able to understand much more about what's going on. So I will turn the camera around. I'm excited to do yours. Of course, I should pick that, Scorpio. You're ruled by Pluto, planet of transformation, the place where the tears are too painful to cry. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what your reading says. So I'll turn the camera around. Hi Scorpio, welcome to your cards. I couldn't really see them very well when I was pulling them out, but now I'm seeing them laid out. I can see there's a beautiful set of seeds, and you don't normally see that many seeds in one place. So let's quickly show you the layout. So remember, this is the Ring of the Trees reading of the Tongue of the Trees cards. So it's designed to show the evolution of the plant and how it grows outwards in its rings. And of course, this is your growth through the next month. So we're here. We start here. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we start here, and this is very poignant. But for a second, let's just think about the astrology that's taking place. Pretty much everything that's going on with you is predominantly 3rd house and 9th house stuff. So 3rd house in particular, because Saturn's going to retrograde into Capricorn, which is your 3rd house, and Jupiter and Pluto are already conjunct, sitting there in your 3rd house. Your third house is about your mind, your thoughts, activity, mental activity, meditation, and to me this looks all about finding ways to calm your mind. But also Mercury goes direct, so we start the month with it in retrograde in your 8th house, but then it goes direct into your 9th house, which is how you express yourself spiritually. kind of the places you become illuminated, what talks to your spirit and makes it glad, you know. So philosophy, but also your perspective on life and travel. But it's really interesting to look at these, because most of this is about rebirth, which is very strange and very poignant to somebody who is Scorpio, who is ruled by Pluto, who is rebirth. So as I say, lots of seeds, and I thought I'd start off differently to everybody else. Don't know if you've seen this book before, Aromatherapy. It's by a fantastic aromatherapist in Australia called Salvatore Battaglia. And he sent me this when he published it, and he said, I'm so excited that there's someone who else is as passionate about aromatherapy as me. Your work is awesome. Thanks, Sal. But he writes about the different groups, and he says, beautiful. Funnily enough, it's Angelica. Oh, sweet fennel. Looks like Angelica. It says, in mythology, seeds are often associated with nourishment, reproduction, and potential for growth. Just think about the size of a seed and the potential it has. The seed is so small, and yet it can grow into an incredible living structure. It's been stored for years, and then given the right conditions, bursts into life, a rich symbol of the process of living and dying. And then we'll just scroll down to the bottom. It says, Terry Dunn Chase, author of Seeing Seeds, beautifully illustrated with stunning photographs of seeds, remind us that the seed is both the beginning and the end of a plant's life. The seed is the beginning because it contains an embryonic plant. The seed also stores all the nutrients needed to nourish the embryo until it can develop roots and top growth. The book of Genesis in the Old Testament reminds us of the importance of the seeds by describing how all plant forms begin. As God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind, and God saw that it was good. So we can see all the right way through here, cycles, cycles, cycles. And so that is 9th house, but also it's the feelings of how we're going to deal with that. So coriander has a lovely poem with it. 1 second, let's find the coriander poem. If you get the cards, they come with a book of these, and we can see that it's ruled by Mercury, which is the ruler of thought and ideas and data. It says, why do you think you can't do it? Too old, too young, or too afraid? I hear you, I've been there, for I am just a seed. Once upon a time, all I wanted to do was be in a salad. I wanted to meld with tomatoes, lime juice, chilies, and be enjoyed for who I am. But the other herbs laughed at me, because I am just a seed. Seeds, chilies told me, you don't belong in salads. You're too tough, too hot, too seedy. So I rolled off the table and into the soil beneath. I concentrated all my energy. I absorbed all the sun had to give. The rain poured and I celebrated, absorbed all the universe had to live. And then, much to my surprise, I shooted. Germinated, they said. I cried out to the sun, give me more, and rained down from clouds above. I grew, emerged, and gained leaves. Something odd, my flavour changed. No longer earthy, but sassy. Soon a pair of scissors came and I whispered to the chilies, still classy. So, as my spicy leaves lie in that bowl, showing chili how it's done, breathe my earthy oil and I'll show you growing can be fun. So right here, right at the start, this is absolute optimism. I know that I can be more than I am. But this is a strange progression, because immediately we go over to hyssop, which is a herb. And its main chemical group is ketones. And ketones are quite problematic to use. They break down solid structures. So we use them for breaking down catarrh or scar tissue, but also we use them for breaking down connections between the physical body and the spirituality. So this immediately launches us into a more spiritual realm, into the realm of tranquility, where vetiver lives. And vetiver is deeply, deeply meditative. And usually we see there's 2 power cards. I find them at 3 and 7, sometimes different, but 3 and 7 tends to be the ones. And 3 is deep, deep meditation, ruled again by Pluto. Pluto is the ruler of the underworld. All grasses, funnily enough, are ruled by Pluto, and so they are the creatures of transformation. Pluto, of course, its sideline archetype is Hades. Hades came up and snatched Persephone, or the Kore, as she was as the maiden before, down into the underworld, and she became the queen of the underworld, and that is where she found her power. And it's an interesting difference, really, in our philosophies. We talk about the underworld and the afterlife in Egyptian mythology, and it's easy to think that it's the same as hell, but hell is a Catholic construct. The underworld and the afterlife are psychological, you know, subconscious, that place where desire and the thoughts that we dare not tell anybody else live. That secret dark place which is erotic and powerful and sacred and hidden, adorable from the point of view it feels delicious when we go there, but we leave very quickly. We don't want to stay there, it's too dark. And here we've gone, right, I am clear that I am going to do this. I am going to start on this mission. And Hyssop immediately lifts us out of the consciousness and puts us into the realms of vetiver. That is such fast medicine. And funnily enough, as a blend, I would never have thought of doing that for meditation, but that is a fast journey from I am here at the beginning, apprentice to master in 3 steps. Really fast. And this here, Cyprus is ruled by the Pisces Aries cusp. So Pisces being the old life, and then the cusp is the moment before the new life begins, whereas the Aries is the new baby, you know. So the cusp is that moment, you know how I said we're in that space but quickly we're out again. That is the point of no return. That is death. That is being in the fire for the phoenix. That is what transforms us. And what's strange is we have a very simple, benign oil following it. You would expect to see something really powerful like galbanum, but eucalyptus, everybody knows how to use eucalyptus. We use it for respiratory medicine. We use it for coughs and colds. But here, this represents the part of us that caused the cold in the first place. Some days we can all walk into the same place, and some of us will come in with a cold and some will come out or not with a cold. What is it? And it's that moment that depletes us. Why does our immunity drop? Why do we become susceptible to infection? Well, it's the spiritual dis-ease of the moment, not happy about something, feeling like you can't express yourself, frustrated, stressed by situations. This here says we are standing in our own power. Here we went through the threshold into a new sense of power, a new authenticity that is truly us. That's beautiful. And here, not a card that comes up very often. It's funny because you've got 56 cards in a pack. You would think that they would have the same odds of coming up. But I'm on my 9th reading this month, and this is the first time this one's come up, because this is the catalyst. This is the crucible that sets things alight. This is the alchemical change. Here is the change. This is the catalyst that sets it alight. In physical medicine, I would use nutmeg for times when somebody's had long-term stress. And for example, a man has developed impotence through it, you know. There's no longer any sexual drive. There's just not enough power in the body. The batteries run out, you know. And nutmeg deals straight with the pituitary gland, which is what controls all of the hormonal processes in the body. It's such a powerful gland, and to have something, it's like lighting the touch paper. And here we can see this is bringing about something. This journey brings about something really incredibly powerful within you. And physically, we use German chamomile, blue chamomile, as we call it in aromatherapy, for things that are very inflamed. So the reason why we call it blue chamomile is, even though it has white flowers with yellow centers, when it goes through distillation and the heat touches it, the chemistry of the oil changes that we've extracted from the flower, and it goes and changes into a blue oil. And it is, see my friend from the roses here, a constituent called chamazulene. Chamazulene is like a liquid anesthetic. It takes the heat out of every situation. Now bear in mind, we are absolutely in the alchemical crucible here at Scorpio. There's no way about it. We've lit the touch paper. It could be too much. It could feel too hot, too powerful, too much, too fast. And in that case, we would go to German chamomile to soothe it. But the German chamomile and all the other chamomiles sing the same song. They say, "Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be." This is fate. This moment you find yourself in, this strange time where everything's happening in the third house, and then you've got Mercury going direct in the ninth house, and you've got a new moon in the ninth house, which is spirituality. This was always going to come to this moment, and whatever will be, will be. So you might as well let go and just go with the flow and feel enthusiastic about it. You know, the interesting thing about astrology is it gives us tools to be able to navigate what's happening in the next few weeks. This here gives us even more tools, because I'll show you, I'll put some slides up afterwards with some recipes that say, right, okay, if this occurs, then you could use these oils. If that occurs, you could use this, some oils. For example, here, looking at this, if I looked at this from a physical point of view, I would say, digestive, 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 digestive. Potentially you are going to have digestive issues come up. Likewise, I could say not so much, but respiratory, respiratory, respiratory. But I think digestive, it's very likely you're going to have some stomach issues come up. So we'll put a recipe in for that. So we've got these tools available to us, haven't we? And Rosemary says, you know what? Be thankful that something is bigger than you. We all get into these situations where we play life out in a very, like a rut, you know? We play to the familiar, and if we keep doing the same things, we don't move forward. There is no evolution. We do not see this ring of power happening. And Rosemary says, in this position, so strong, so powerful, so incredibly liberating to just leave it to the universe and just think, wow, this is the start of something incredible for me, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. She's also Catholic, so she is thought processes, but she's memory. And remember, all of this is about the third house. It's about thoughts, it's about memory, it's about logic, data, information. All of that comes through the power of rosemary to be able to remember all of that. But to me, I think that when we're looking at this, that says old life, new life, old life, new life, old life, new life, fate, old life, new life, rebirth. This is saying, remember, you know this stuff. Remember, think back, past that moment of birth, past when you became Aries. Think back to Pisces, to your last incarnation, and the one before that, and the one before that. Because whatever this is, the second that you let coriander go up to hyssop and used hyssop to release the spiritual body, you went to a place that you've been before. You have been there before, and this is not new. This is karmic. This is karmic. And this isn't necessarily a lesson that we have to learn. This is a skill set we had, and we're reclaiming it somehow, you know. This kind of, well, you know, you are the shamans. Scorpio knows how to go down into the underworld and back again, like the shaman does. And everything about this says you can embrace this, and you can amalgamate this into your existence, and it becomes part of this reality. It was there before. We're just, what's the word I'm trying to say? When you bring something back, or the word will come to me in a minute, but you reintegrate it. Thank you. That reintegrating it back into your psyche. It was there. You just didn't know how to do it. You hadn't put it in your shopping basket, is what I'm being told. You've not decided to pick it before, but now you're thinking, right, okay, I'm going to try it out. And then suddenly, whoosh, hyssop takes you to, I mean, it's extraordinary where it takes you, really. And Bergamot says, oh, I'm so excited to see what happens next. I mean, the second that this starts, you're like, whoa, I knew there was something about me. I knew that I was special. I knew I could do something, but I just couldn't get my fingers on it. And Bergamot's like the Mardi Gras. I mean, it feels like just the festival happening in front of your eyes. Remember, from a physical point of view, bergamot's one of the most powerful weapons we have against depression. It is so uplifting, so sparkling, so full of life. And that's what you get from this. You know, you suddenly start to feel like you're embracing lots of lifetimes that you've before, and it just feels like champagne. You're just fizzing with it. I love it. I love it. I can feel it. And here, Pettigran. Deliberate. It is deliberate action. You're not going to do it by accident. You have physically got to. Where is she? Where is it? 1 second. You've got to shake the shaman's drum. You've got to use those incenses. You've got to get the flowers. You've got to really get into, how am I going to bring this into manifestation? Because you have to deliberately open the door into the underworld. But know that when you come out, at the edge of every battlefield, there is always yarrow growing. It's such a beautiful oil. And incidentally, another blue oil transformed by heat. It's for when you come out the fires, for when you're burned. And look at the Latin name, Achille millefolium. Millefolium, the 1,000 leaves, Achille of Achilles. This in every way, when Achilles was dipped in the river Styx, he became immortal. He was protected, but he had his Achilles heel where his mum held him when she dipped him into the river. He wasn't protected, and so he got hurt over and over and over again. And again, that's karmic. This same thing that comes back over and over again. So yarrow, again, a karmic card, a karmic oil for this journey. But this is beautiful. It's an oil that says so little and yet so much. So I always say, imagine you are sitting on your holidays and you go out for one of these banquets on a night, and you're in a Bedouin tent and you've had all this beautiful food made for you and rich sweets, and they're sitting by the fire and you're looking up at the heavens and everything's clear and the stars are bright, and you just think, I am in utter heaven here. And you're a bit drunk, you know, and you're thinking, yeah, I'd take you home. And that kind of mellow, not really thinking about anything but just how great life is, and this moment is beautiful. I know it's not going to last long, but it is beautiful and I love it. There it is. That's exactly the feeling that cardamom gives you. And it asks you to stop for a moment. Just stop and look back through your journey and see how far you've come. You know, you've come a long distance. This is no short journey. Just beautiful. And remember that this could really be a long journey, although you don't really have any Saturn cards in there. But Saturn goes retrograde into the 3rd house and stays there till December. So this may not just be a month. This might be this beautiful spiritual journey that's going to take you through the rest of the year. And so cardamom keeps saying, keep looking back. Just keep appreciating the journey. And then here, to have this as an outcome is... I couldn't have thought of a better card really to come up as a Scorpio outcome. It says, who am I? Deep, deep within me, in the place where the voices stop and there is purely spirit, who am I? And it looks to me like you're going to start to understand who that spirit is. You know, when you close your eyes and you listen to the voice and you hear the chitter chatter going on between your, is it this, is it that, is it that? And you realise, no, one moment. 25 minutes. You realise that those voices are not you. You is what came into being that second you were conceived, at that very moment in fate. Who am I? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be here for? And if ever there is a time that you can achieve it, it's all laid out there. Well, I'm envious. I'm very envious, because this just looks deeply spiritual and magical. So like I said, I'm going to put you some recipes up to help you on your journey, and hopefully I'll see you next week. So I hope you found that useful. They're very weird, these cards. When I designed them and Gergely asked me to write the translations to his to his Hungarian poems, I had to listen to the plants all over again, and to hear them speak to me was very strange and stressful, and I didn't like it, and I didn't think they'd be good. When I got them in my hands and started to work with them, I found them extraordinary. And I hope that you do too. Now, obviously, if you are not a regular follower of my channel because you're not an aromatherapist, like and subscribe now, and comment and share, please. Also, in the description, you will find how to buy the Tongue of the Trees cards, but also how to buy the knowledge base. And remember that they are separate. The cards are available from Fragrant Earth in Glastonbury, and soon will be available from Amazon. So just keep watching, because as soon as they are, you'll get a link in the link below, and that's Amazon UK just at the moment. The knowledge base is a digital platform, and so the second that you pay me £45, I can send it down to you, and there is over 40 different videos in there looking at all aspects of the oil. Also, make sure that you check out my books. If you're a beginner to essential oils, look at download my free book from Amazon, The Complete Guide to Clinical Aromatherapy and the Essential Oils of the Physical Body. Snappy title. I've regretted it ever since I did it. But also, if you are a beginner to essential oils and you're starting to really enjoy them, but you're not confident, perhaps also look for the recipe hub that goes with the Tongue of the Trees. Totally unrelated to any of the readings that we've done, but it's using the cards to make recipes. There's just around about 200 recipes in there. How to make treatments for body lotions, for shampoos, for anything you can think of, from bronchitis to, I can't think of something from beginning with Z, sunburn. right the way across. So yeah, have a look. Go and have a look at my website. And incidentally, if you would like me to do you your own personal reading, if you have a look on my website, thesecrethealer.co.uk, there is a link for consultations. Book an hour-long personal consultation, and yeah, I'll do your own reading. For now, thank you for being generous and all the nice things that you've said, and I look forward to doing your August readings.
Comments, and if you want to, you can send a comment and say like hi's to Mum and Dad, right? And then the link to the next video will be in the description below underneath the video. So bye.